It's called an eating plan for a reason. So don't just wing it. And that's what I'm talking about today. If you are starting out on a weight loss journey or a weight loss plan, and you are really trying to learn about how many calories some of your favorite types of food are, or have rather, or you're trying to figure out the difference between healthier options of the types of food that you typically eat and what the difference is in calories. It's just so essential to have some kind of eating plan moving forward. And, listen, you don't have to be so structured and so regimented for the rest of your life with this. This is just a way to start out to ensure you are successful, right? We ensure just about everything in our lives. So why shouldn't we ensure our success on our weight loss plan? A plan is just that. It's a plan. It's not something you absolutely have to follow 100% of the time to a T, but it's a general plan. And it's definitely a crutch in the beginning that we can kind of lean on and say, okay, I have a plan for this week in terms of what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe a snack or two. And I have figured out that if I stay on this plan to a very good extent, that it is going to result in weight loss because I have, you know, looked into the caloric values of the different foods I plan on eating this week. And if all goes well, voila, I should have a good 2, possibly even 3 pound weight loss at the end of the week. Planning, at least initially, is very, very helpful. And I have to be honest with you, like a lot of people, they kind of balk at these kinds of eating plans because they seem too structured and they seem like, oh, I'm not free to really eat what I want and this and that. Well, first off, you're absolutely free to eat what you want. You don't have to make an eating plan for the month and definitely not for like a season. You only have to make it for 1 week at a time. And each week you can vary meals. Listen, I get it. You don't want to be bored and eat the same things day in and day out. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what I do. It works for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. But for me, I like structure and I like simplicity. And so what I do is I basically plan out a breakfast that I want to have for 4 days or so, and a lunch that I want to have for 4 days or so, and a dinner that I want to have for a few days or so. And on Monday, I make my lunches for the week. I enjoy wraps. So a lot of times I'll have like a deli meat like turkey, sometimes roast beef, sometimes chicken, maybe a cheese, maybe a different kind of condiment. And there's many different variations. I've even made a Cuban wrap, which is delicious. You make some delicious pork loin and put some ham and Swiss on there. Oh, amazing. With some pickles and mustard, delicious. There's so many creative ways that you can make your lunch. Some people are not that into wraps and sandwiches, and so they'll have like different kinds of salad bowls that they'll make, or bowls, period. Bowls are really popular these days, right? You put some rice and chicken or pasta bowls with some kind of protein. But the idea is that you're not waking up and saying, what should I eat? And definitely when you're trying to get to work, trying to get the kids out for school, and trying to get all these things done, and now you have to think of what to make. No, not happening. we know just how good we are when we just kind of leave it up to the air about what we want to do on any given night. And we're like, oh, I want to do something fun tonight. Well, I'll think about it when I come home. And then we come home and we say, so what should I do tonight? I don't know. I don't know what I should do. I only want to just flop on the couch and watch a Netflix, right? So planning is very, very important. I also, advise people to plan their social and fun time. Planning food should not be looked upon with like this kind of disgust, like, oh, a plan. Look at it as this liberating activity. It's liberating you. It's freeing up your time. You don't have to think as much during the week. You've already thought out what you're going to eat for 3 or 4 days in a row, and you're going to make the lunches ahead of time. And breakfast is very simple. You're either going to settle on oatmeal or some kind of cold cereal, or you're going to have waffles or pancakes or whatever, right? Most of those are frozen, so they're relatively easy to prepare, or something with toast or croissant bread, whatever. But just know what you're having, right? So sure, there could be some preparation in the morning for breakfast, but you know what you're eating. You're waking up and you're saying, this is what I'm having for my breakfast, and this is what I'm taking to work for lunch. And then when I come home, I'm going to make a nice sized meal for dinner, and I'm going to divvy that up for 3 or 4 nights or something like that. And, you know, you will be amazed, one, at how quickly you start to learn about portion sizes and how many calories a certain amount of food is, the different caloric values of all different types of food. This is going to be like a learning class. It's going to be a class on nutrition that you're basically going to be studying, but it's going to really simplify your life. You're just basically going to sit down and decide what you want to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, at least during the week, right? That's when we're busiest. Typically, we have our job during the week, Monday to Friday. And then you're going to go food shopping like you always do. But hey, guess what? With a plan. The beauty of this is that the different meals that you decide on for the week translate beautifully into a shopping list. And now you know exactly how much of everything to get. And you don't have to go to the, food store and again, wing it and just kind of say like, I don't know, maybe I'll grab this, maybe I'll grab that. And how many times do we grab unhealthy food? Or if we don't have a plan, we don't know exactly what we're shopping for, we tend to grab less healthy options or snacks or treats, right? What appeals to us? Because that's what's guiding us. What is appealing to our senses is what's not guiding us is a plan that we are following or a food list, right? So the plan translates beautifully into a food list. And then you're talking about like one day of putting together a few lunches, or at least making sure that the ingredients are readily available in the morning for you to throw together a lunch very quickly and a breakfast. And then that's it. Voila, you have everything for the week. And then on the weekend, you can kind of like wing it a little bit in the sense that, maybe you have some healthy breakfast options in mind and some healthy lunch options. And then you go out to eat, or you order food in, or you just make a meal with the family. You make a family meal, and it's kind of like, what everybody wants, and you're not as so focused on, how healthy it is. And this is a really less complicated way to live. And because you have a plan, it's like a life preserver in the middle of this ocean of urges and cravings and temptations and social influences to try to derail you from your plan. This life preserver is basically something that you can latch on to, at least short term, until you can just kind of know the caloric values of different foods. And you can just say like, yep, okay, for lunch, I'm going to have something like this, and breakfast, something like that. And you go and you buy those ingredients, and you know the caloric values pretty much. You can ballpark it, and you can ballpark, the amount of food you're going to need. Once you learn your caloric needs, it will become so much easier. But you have to learn about them first, and you have to give yourself a fighting chance and make plans each week until it becomes secondhand. There is a guy who I follow who's a fitness expert. His name is Jordan Syatt, Syatt, and he's got some phenomenal videos about kind of learning and the learning curve and getting to those next levels of just intuitive eating. That's the new catchphrase these days, and just kind of knowing what your body needs and how much of it your body needs. But it's a process, and he always says, you have to start off really with the basics, and with kind of like almost this approach where you're taking a class and you're learning what works best for you. And if you know me, I'm not like such a huge proponent of all these fads like macro ratios and all that, but you can even learn that about whether your body prefers carbs to burn for fuel or fat, or if it does better with heavy carbs in the morning and less carbs throughout the day, or it does much better with having a decent amount of carbs each meal. You can even learn about that too, which could help your weight loss efforts a bit as well. This is Dr. Fields. Make a plan for yourself this coming week. I wish you all the best success, and I will have more to say about this at another time.